Today we're going to hear from John Herrick. John Herrick has a specialized skill. He calls himself a financial problem solver. He works specifically with real estate investors. Today I asked him to start with a little quick story of telling us why he's in the business he's in, and then we're going to jump right into the interview. Hope you enjoy.
One of my associates said to me one time, "Remember, John, the banks and the credit bureaus are like the mafia. They're in league with each other. They're totally unforgiving, and they're always working in their interest and never yours." Okay. So what we do, we learn how to manipulate the credit system in your favor. Honestly, we don't do nothing illegal, but we know what the rules of this very strange game are, and by prepping you correctly, we get the system to say, that's a good borrower. I'll lend X. So we divide and conquer. We submit applications for you to a number of lenders who want to lend to you today, and a high percentage of them are going to say yes. And so we get you a series of smaller credit lines.
So I asked John, what exactly is revolving credit and how does it help?
Revolving credit is simply means that you borrow. It's like a credit card. When you have a limit, you borrow up to that limit, and you have a monthly payment that is proportional to the amount that you've borrowed. So one of the ways that you build credibility and strengthen your profile is to use your revolving credit lines. You use them up to maybe never beyond about 90% of your limit, and ideally, when you can manage it, you use them down at about 45%, okay, as a max. But when you need to do a project and you need to take all the money, take all the money. And then as soon as you're done with your project, pay it back. Now, in the meantime, you're going to have a monthly payment of about 2% per month on the outstanding balance that you have. Of that 2%, over half is going to be principal, so you start rapidly amortizing the principal. So it's not going to nowhere for you. But and whatever you pay down, you can borrow back. So actually, how you use credit lines to carry a project is that you don't borrow down to the last nickel in the line. You leave some reserve, and you take, say you take 70% of the line, and then you're going to have payments that you need to do for 6 months to do a single family flip. You simply take further advances on the credit line and make the payments on the credit line right out of your advances. So you end up being no cash out of pocket during your project. And then to build your score and to keep your credibility, and to not pay interest, of course, as soon as it's possible, you pay that baby down to 0. Or another little technique to use is pay it down to about 5% balance if it's a new card, and just keep paying minimum payment per month on a tiny balance, so that there's always activity being reported to the lender. Those things help you build the depth of your profile and improve your experience with each lender. So you have to be real careful about this. You need to plan it in advance so that you have enough room to carry yourself through a project without getting strung out. And because for any real estate investor, that's hell on earth. Okay, you don't want to be in that spot. So we have some tools that we share with you that will teach you how to manage your credit portfolio and plan the use for the project, so that you've got enough and you have enough to carry you through, and always plan for a margin of safety, because after more than 40 years in this business, I can tell you, as anyone else will tell you, there's always surprises in a project. Almost every project has some little unanticipated expense, something that comes upon you when you least expect it. A few years ago, I stumbled upon the unsecured revolving credit line available. And you can go to your bank and walk in and apply for an unsecured revolving credit line any place, but typically you're not going to get very many dollars, and the service offered is not real good. So I've made it my business to be affiliated with people that comb about 300 lenders to choose from, the ones who really want to lend today. It's hard to accumulate, get and borrow large enough amounts of money to do very much in a real estate situation if you don't know how to do it. And so the main thing, the myth is that it's not available, because it is available, but you have to deal with people that have the specialized knowledge and that they're willing to share with you to get you where you need to go. Okay? So I'm a professional financial problem solver. I've solved those problems for myself and many other people over the years, and so I can help you do that same thing.
I asked John to explain a little bit about how revolving credit helps real estate investors specifically, and he told us a really neat story.
I remember one day my brother, who ran construction for me, called me and says, "John, you better come down and take a look at our fourplex. You know, we're working away on it here, but I got something to show you." So I got down there, and he had opened up a wall, and he had discovered something we couldn't have known in advance, that a whole set of iron pipe drain lines were rusted out. Very unusual, but they were rusted out, and we had another substantial expense to completely replace that part of the drains. So you know, it pops up, and you know, we had money in reserve, and you know, so it didn't set us back. It ate into our profits, but the point is that we had reserves, and we were able to handle it. You do not want to find yourself in that spot where you don't have the reserves, because then you're at risk of losing money on your project and impairing your credit. So there's art as well as science to it. We are delighted to help you from the start.
John tells us how he helps people, and so I had to ask, how does he get paid?
How we work is that we work entirely on contingency. We don't ask you to pay any money in front. We spend considerable time underwriting you and getting you ready to go, and telling you what we think we can get for you. And then and only then, once you have it in hand and you can get your hands on the money, that's when you pay us. Okay, so we work entirely on contingency. There's many companies that for unsecured credit lines that want you to pay them $2,500, $3,500, $6,000 in front, and then you hope they do something for you. Okay, and there's a lot of that, and unfortunately, I have to caution people that if you're not going to do business with me, and you're going to look around, you need to be very, very, very careful about who you deal with, because there are, unfortunately, there's a lot of people that don't know quite what they're doing, and they don't have the commitment to service and the ability to deliver that we have. And that's why I've been in business successfully for over 40 years, is that, you know, first and foremost, I stand by what I do, and if we have any kind of difficulty getting you through a deal, getting you through a funding for you, I don't say, "Oh, too bad, I can't be bothered anymore." I see you through it. I'm kind of like a dog with a bone. You know, once I get the bone in my mouth, I don't let go of it. I hold on tight, and you can't take it away from me. So that, you're my client, that's how I will treat your case. I'll see you, I'll stick with you till we've got it done. And if it's, you know, because we'll determine it's not impossible in the beginning. As long as you're willing to do your part, I will do my part. Okay?
As we talked, I began to wonder what the difference was between what John does and what a typical loan broker does.
Well, you talk about a loan broker, typically you're talking about a mortgage loan broker, and most of them have the National Mortgage Licensing System license and number, And they're primarily authorized and primarily licensed to broker residential loans. That's owner-occupied loans for 1 to 4 units, okay? That's FHA, that's VA, that's conventional Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac loans for your personal residence. I refer that business out. I don't have the patience. Frankly, I'll just admit I don't have the patience to put up with the underwriting rules that go along with that, and because I always liked good sense lending, and so about 10 years ago I decided I was going to give myself a big present and let somebody else do that, and that's what I do. People with more patience with the underwriters get that business taken care of for my client. But primarily, most of the lenders that I'm dealing with are not owner-occupied lenders. They're commercial lenders of one type or another. So we do a lot of private money. That's mortgage secured, and we do that through choosing the right referral source to send you to, okay? But we start you out with the base, the one thing that everyone needs, no matter what kind of project they're doing, the one thing that everyone needs and people always need more of and often need quite a bit of just to get started is the down payment money. It's the unsecured money. There's no collateral for this, so it has a totally different and in this case much more simplified underwriting rule. You need a 680 credit score, you need a few open credit cards, and you should have a fairly clean credit record. You know, you shouldn't have a bankruptcy and judgments and 30 and 60-day lates and so forth. If we have that stuff, then we prep you for that, and by sending you to our chosen credit repair company, we get you tidied up. It's like going on stage for a lender, and you're a beauty that we want to primp and prep and make you look your very best, okay, before you go on stage. So when we present you to the lender, you're looking as good as you're going to look at that moment for in time, as good as you can look, and that gets you the largest amount of money. Typically, we get people at least 3, typically 5 times the amount of money that they could land on their own by calling here and calling there, and we do it without getting you into the traps that the credit system offers you.
If you enjoyed listening to John, you may want to get in touch with him. He may be able to help you out specifically.
I've had the same cell phone number from California for 25 years now. It's area code 925-253-0808. We have an 800 number. That's 800-297-1120. Both those work all over the country. We lend all over the country, so call us at either one. There'll be a current email address and a website for you on the put on this video, and so we look forward to hearing from you one way or the other and being of service to you. We're here to be of service to everyone. That's what the good Lord sent us to, is to help other people with their financial prosperity. So give us that opportunity, and we'll be very grateful to you.
If you enjoyed these videos, we're going to have a lot of videos just like this, so make sure you subscribe. As a matter of fact, our next video is going to be John sharing some tips specifically for real estate investors. He's going to talk a little bit about seller financing, so you definitely want to tune in for that. See you on the next video.